Yo.
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Y'all know what it is. State of the art in the building.
Talk your shit. What's going on, man?
Ain't shit, man. I had a rough week.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You ever have one of those weeks where you're like, how bad do I need this job?
I mean, plenty of weeks. It was like, yo.
How bad do I really want to work in this location?
Let me think about my escape plan, man.
Right.
Yo, I just think about the escape plan now. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if I love my job, because they could change that manager one day.
And that's it.
It just turns everything
That's it.
around.
Everything is upside down.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. You mad when you don't even say escape. You say escape.
Yeah.
That's how I want to escape. Like, I don't want to get away with no grammar involved. I want to leave. Somebody told me or mentioned to us that we should face the camera. We're taking you guys' feedback quite literally, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually camera shy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I got in front of this bitch right here.
Really?
Because I feel like it's something watching me. Like, at least if there's an audience, if they don't laugh or if they give me a boo, I know I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
The camera, it don't say nothing. It's just there, watching.
That shit don't bother me.
It weird.
I'll be forgetting.
You be looking mad comfy, but I'll be sitting there like, oh, my hands are right. So understand where. So
Have you ever seen somebody be booed on stage before?
Yes, I have.
I'm about to say, I've seen that shit happen before.
Yeah, but at least the boo's a reaction. You taking the L. Like,
that
this is.
nigga got nervous, son. Oh my god! Like, I was like, yo, guys, please stop.
You gotta chill. You gotta chill.
This nigga might kill himself up there. Nah, man.
Said somebody go backstage, check on that man.
Yo.
But yeah, I wanted to let's start the show. Let's start it right away with an update with our Joe Budden podcast continuing news. We're bringing it in. So last time we were here, we potted Joe, Rory and Mal. Had they come out with a reaction yet?
No. They had just been fired.
They had just been fired.
Rory.
My man Joe. But question. Okay, before we explain anything, I want to ask. After hearing, because they did a podcast themselves that came out, said, I will name this response later, which I thought was super witty and super cool, an ode to the original name of the podcast. If people do not know, originally Joe Budden Podcast was named, we will name this podcast later.
I'll name this podcast.
I'll name this podcast later, sorry. So I thought that was always dope.
Yeah, I love that. I think most people love that.
When they changed it to Joe Budden Podcast, I understood.
Yeah, I'm like, I get it.
I understood, but
that name, I mean, it spoke to what that podcast was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it didn't resonate.
It's supposed to be this kind of indie, cool, just random.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So when they named that response, I liked it. I'll name this response later. How do you feel now after, based on what we said before? Mm-hmm. Do you feel any different than what you said before their response?
Absolutely not. I said they was naive, which they admitted to.
Yes.
Joe is 100% wrong, which I also said, by the way.
Yes, you did.
I'm about to say, I feel like you be trying to spin, like I said, you.
I be trying to make Obi the bad guy so bad. I do not want Obi. Because Obi's been shitting on me for years for shitting on Joe Budden. And every time I do, he's like, you just hate that nigga.
You're like, yo, I hate how he dresses. No, I actually the one that hates how he dresses.
No, I was going to say, his outfits, I don't even count on him for outfits.
Yo, shouts out to Maul about that Amiri joke, because that's the shit I be thinking.
Yo, Joe Budden in a Amiri hat is weird, bro.
Man.
It's a weird flex.
I just hate people that do shit like that. I mean,
just because it's a name brand.
Yeah, the name brand God. You're like, come on, man. Where your Nikes at? Like, where your Adidas at? Like, where's your comfortable? Like, you can't be dripped out and just designer every day. Like, you're not the Migos.
And then the other problem is you can't be dripped out in designer everything and it be trash still. Like, how you fit?
I mean, that's a lot of people that be like that.
Bro, yo,
it's like the designer mask, like the trashness
of the
fit.
Bro, that red overcoat that he wore with the white turtleneck, Nasty.
Nigga, them red boots.
Nasty.
The red cowboy boots that he wore.
I'm not here
the state of the
red cowboy. This nigga Obi called Joe Budden Mary J. Blige.
I don't go to in on him with his because he has made some improvements.
No, some strides. Some strides. I'm telling you, that man has made strides in the fashion
So it's
world.
hard because you're like, I already know like naturally you don't got it like that, but you tried at least, so it can't be bad.
But the first time around, we could blame it on you wasn't trying. Now you trying, and it's better, but it's still trash. You really not good at this, bro.
I mean, that's as simple as I'll take it. I mean, some people it comes very natural too.
Yeah, I get it.
And,
Joe Budden just whatever. I'll never forget him wearing that the headband that had two.
Yo, I didn't even know what you was talking about.
The headband went like this. You know,
the little extra.
It went. I was like, nah, bro.
Yo,
nastiest headband ever made. But that happened. So now Rory and Mal. I digress. We gotta stop roasting his fits. Speaking of which, best captions ever made. The Joe Budden fit page. Best captions ever.
I haven't looked at that page in a while, but son, the pictures is the funniest shits ever.
Yo, son, they cooking Joe like a goose, my nigga. Joe be getting roasted.
The funny part is we could all get roasted like that, but not to that level.
And what's funny is about their captions is while they're roasting him, it's like they're bigging him up, but they're not. It's like they're sarcastically.
I think it's a known thing that he's a bad dresser.
No, but it's funny because it's almost like they're fans.
Yeah.
Because you could
like,
see.
It's a known thing.
It's a known thing. And they're like, oh no, yeah, not Big Pump. Not Big Pump. He coming with the fits.
Yo, that's that little shady. That shady ass.
Big Pump come through with the nasty fit. I was like, yo, y'all really roasting this man. But Rory and Mal, they came out with a response. I'll say this. I had a different perspective after they came out. Because while I do still feel like they were naive and they admitted to being naive, I do feel like I bought into what Joe was saying about them being lazy or them not doing enough more than I probably should have. Because I gave both sides credit. Joe, I'm not gonna lie to you, is just being a piece of shit.
Yeah. He's being like what he said he's hated, like in the industry, he's turning into that.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's
he's
like
before
that. And the crazy thing is, I'm like, how can you not, because after they came out and put out their response, Joe didn't defend back, he apologized.
Yeah.
Which I was pleasantly surprised at, because at this point, it's like when you do what you did, like the way he fired them, you kind of got to double down on that. I thought he was going to double down on that being Joe. And then he didn't.
Nah, but I think at some point, these are still your friends, to some degree. There's a relationship there.
Yeah.
Whether it's still there or not, there was some you're not gonna you shouldn't keep letting it just spiral out of control.
No,
because it could get really, really, really bad.
I mean, especially the way Mal explained his background. You don't want niggas blicking at your whip.
It could get really, really bad if you just continue to let things spiral. So I think that was smart on his end. To try to be like, you know what, let's just dead this part.
In Joe's defense, which is surprising, I would be the one on this side of the mic saying that. But in Joe's defense, he did say that he didn't intend to drop the episode. He dropped it for 2 hours and he took it off, but they already bootlegged it. Joe, you know how the internets go. There's
word, you put it out there.
Like, bro, I'm sorry, it's over, it's quiet. But he tried to say he didn't mean it, and afterward he openly was like, yo, I admit that I shouldn't have gone about it the way I did. He's saying that, and he said he's sorry. He even talked to Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart came in. Yo, when Kevin Hart
go, hey.
First of all,
I'm like they had something with each other.
Well, if you listen to Joe Budden talk about Kevin Hart's last 6 stand-ups, he be roasting this nigga Kevin.
Yo,
so
man,
when Kev said that,
just be chilling waiting, son.
But when
they be waiting for that moment. Yo, you slip up.
Listen, you allowed to get a little bit of critiquing, but after the third show of you roasting me, bro, we got beef now.
Yeah.
So when Kevin came out,
in that case, Kevin Hart got beef with bad people then. Let's be real. He got beef.
But you know,
he got beef with me.
Yes.
He got beef with you.
I'm not gonna lie. I have not liked at least the last 3 stand-ups.
I even gave his last, not to be off, we gonna go back, but his last one on Never, I actually gave it like some kind of slack. I was like, you know what, it had some cool moments.
No, there were moments where it was funny, but
some decent
it just, it didn't hit home.
And it was COVID, so I was like, it's kind of hard to be like,
yeah, you're doing the best you can. Not to include, he flexed with his living room.
Word, OD.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, yo.
I was like, Drake, Hart, I can't tell the difference. Like, I can't.
Dead ass, so, nah.
But that was, Kevin Hart. When Kevin Hart comes at you, 2 things are terrible about that. One, Kevin Hart is a comedian, so you already know what that smoke coming from. It's coming from a well-spoken, well-thought-out, methodical roaster.
That's how he gave it.
There's that. And then the other thing is, Kevin Hart don't come at nobody for real. Kevin Hart's comedy is all about himself and his life. And it's all about jokes and things. He don't really, he's a good roaster in the moment. But he not gonna roast people on mic. So for him to get on mic and say that, you had to really have gotten under his skin at some point. Nigga Joe an annoying motherfucker. Like, how you that annoying that you annoy Kevin Hart, the shortest, most loving nigga on the planet? Like, I don't want to do nothing to Kevin Hart but give him a hug, my nigga. That's all. He just seems like a cool, he means well for everybody. So if he know you got heat for him, and he got heat back for you, you really had heat for him. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that Kevin Hart came out about that.
I do hope that they could kind of do something on their own though. I do feel like people showed them love when they put that out. Like, I ended up seeing it free on YouTube, but I was actually I'm like, this is $2. Like,
guy, I'm giving you my $2.
I didn't like how they was done. I'll give them but I found it on YouTube.
I'm sorry, bro. Sorry.
My wallet wasn't close to me.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The bootleggers beat me to it. You know what I mean? They beat me to it. I was this close.
It sounds like a lie too.
Because it is. No. To be real, I'm at the age where I'm willing to pay for what I believe
like
in.
Certain things I fuck with, I'll definitely get
I'll pay for that. Like, I still might give that $2 goddamn. I don't care. Just because y'all have been essentially a part of my life for many years.
We listened, we understand the relationship, the dynamic, and y'all was done grease, so
and Mal shined.
OD.
Mal shined. That man can pod.
OD.
Like, you gave him this was the first time I saw Mal have any emotional reaction for real. Every once in a while, he'll have a moment where he like, Joe, what the fuck are you talking about? And they'll have a little back and forth, but they always play it off. And Mal's the coolest dude in the world. So
I even like how they opened up about like his coming to like the. See, I didn't even know it happened in that dynamic, that it was just a one-time thing, and.
I didn't know. Well, we don't know the back end. We don't know that. I just know.
But they never gave that. He just came there like one time, and then
before you know it,
he's just there the whole time.
Yeah, well, and the thing I like about Mal,
sorry,
go ahead.
But there was a time like during that period, I remember listening. Like I feel like Joe was like experimenting. I think he even like threw his baby moms on there, like to try like work it out. But then like
that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, that was like early in their relationship. Terrible. He tried to like throw her on.
I remember I threw you an idea like that once. I'm so sorry. I said that, Obi, and I'd like to apologize to you from man to man that I thought that the best bet was to bring my baby moms here to have a show. We'd have fucked this whole studio up. Everything would have been an L.
Yeah, man, he did that idea, and then Mo just appeared one day. So I was like, all right.
No. I like
it. Was nice to get that background.
I will say that I liked the other thing I liked about Mal was the fact that Mal. He gave a narrative, because Joe tried to give a narrative. I'm not gonna lie, I heard when Joe was giving the how he met or how he knows Mal's story.
Yeah.
That was
that's
corny.
That's whack.
That's corny, whack. Bro. Come on, that's even if that is how I met you, right? And from my perspective, you were living with me, and from my perspective, I didn't know where you came from. I'm not gonna tell it like that. Even like. I don't understand, like...
I don't like, if you had a relationship with somebody, you look like a clown when you try to shit on that person after. Whether it's a friendship relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether if y'all was just fucking, you look corny trying to shit on that person.
Bro, I feel like whenever we were friends or we messed or whatever we were, if I'm still shitting on you now, I'm shitting on myself because I chose you.
Exactly. Like, you saw all these bad sides and you still fuck with this person.
That means I'm a bad
What's wrong with you?
Exactly.
That's how I'm like, you saw all this shit for all these years. All these years you had these complaints,
and now
like, come on, man.
I thought that was a bad judge. I thought I'm a bad judge of character if I'm choosing someone to be in my life and I'm roasting them after the fact. Even if I think about those things after the fact, I always got to consider I didn't think about that when we were dealing with each other. So therefore, to bring it out now, you know what I mean? So Joe doing that I thought was corny, and I like how Mal said, yo, don't try and treat me like no bum ass nigga. And I respected that because he's like, you know what? I could always get to the bag. Like, I could always get to the bag. Like, and I don't know how true that is, but maybe for him it is. Not everybody's the case. But money really, I got to a point where I was doing this thing, and I think Kevin Samuels is a part of this, where we're all doing this thing where it's like, it's about the business. It's about the business. What are you doing? It's about the business.
You gotta be very, you can't, like, you love to talk about nuances, right? Like, you have to understand the nuance of that. Yes, it's about the business when it comes to business. Yeah. But everything is not fucking business. Everything is not business.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So, and my thing is, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. I got caught up in the business side of it because I was on some, why y'all niggas not doing...
What's the end result?
What's the end result? And the other thing was, what's the end result? And the other aspect I was considering was the fact that I did agree. Y'all should have been started a podcast on your own. Yeah. I still say that. Yeah. I still admit that.
They should do something when it comes to doing content with people, because people fuck with them.
Yeah.
You know, people fuck with them.
And
that was the chess game we talked. Joe made his move that worked. They came back and made a monster move. So I would hope y'all capitalize off of making like such a bit. Don't just let that opportunity slip by.
Guys, y'all gotta. You know? Somebody did a logo for them.
With I like saw that. With the beard,
Rory's beard and Mal's beard and the I was like, that's fire.
Nah, don't let that opportunity.
Yo, can somebody do some shit like that for us?
You don't fuck with us like that.
I wanna get a dread outline with a weak beard while Obi gets a brolic beard that looks manly with not much hair on his head and a hairline receding. You know what I mean? I want all.
Y'all could get the fro of the braids.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, we all got to
be shooting 3-point shots for Reggie hairline.
Oh wow, you gonna bring back that old ass joke from the 7th grade, my nigga? That old ass 7th grade joke. That was a good one too. So y'all know, in the 7th grade, I was not allowed to have a hairline because as a Haitian child, a hairline was for bum. I don't know if you know what bum is, but in Creole, bum is drug dealers, scammers, skip, scap, scallywops, hoes. You're all bum. Okay, so if you had a hairline, that meant you had money to get a hairline. If you had money to get a hairline, you was probably selling duog, which is encompassing of weed, cocaine, crack, all things encompassed. If you smoked weed, you did duog.
It's drugs.
So I had a hairline, that means I'm bum. So I couldn't be a bum, so these niggas roasted me for a whole 7th grade.
Get a little circular.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, my hair was like the 3-point arc. It was bad. It was real bad. And thank you for that, Obi, for that walk down memory lane about my hairline and how terrible it was as a child. Thank you for that, sir. It's always good to remember my terrible days.
Oh my God.
Nah, man, my hairline was bad. But yeah, I liked that Mal and Rory. Well, they did this and they came out with everything. But I was looking at Rory and I kind of felt like Rory seems like he's still a co-host. Like Mal felt like the host and Rory felt like the co-host. Mm-hmm. But it didn't feel wrong. Yeah. It felt like it could still work. Yeah. And I liked it because I don't know if it's something about, it's not necessarily being white, but white people around black people always seem more timid. Yeah. I don't know how many white people have you been around that's surrounded by black people and they still look tough? It doesn't seem to work that way. I don't know if that's just me, but it's like Rory looked timid next to Mal, but it still kind of worked because it's like somebody got to be the co-host. You know what I mean? So it still worked. I like the dynamic. Did Rory say anything that stuck out to you? Do you remember any? Like I felt like he kind of,
Rory gave the details.
He gave the details. That's true.
The painting of the picture of him that was happening.
Yeah,
I gave his input to things. So yeah, like the reactions to the just normal conversations that I think I would want to have. Yeah. That Joe was giving him, like those kind of insights.
Yeah.
It's easy to just paint him as like this emotional like white dude that's like depressed.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say.
But so I think he gave him, like, he sounded reasonable to me when I heard him.
There was nothing he said that I was like, nah, that's a cop out or a bullshit. It sounded like, nah, that's how you felt. And the thing was, I will say, all along the way, everything he said sounded like something Joe would do. Yeah. Like it didn't sound too off. Yeah. What Joe was saying about Rory and Mal, when he was calling them on the show, when he fired them, he was calling Rory like a manipulator, and I'm like, that don't sound like Rory. Like, that don't sound like nothing I've ever seen. I don't know Rory, guys. I'm gonna put that.
But I feel like most people was waiting to also hear, because a lot of that stuff sounded a little bit weird. Like, y'all sat on that couch this whole time, and all of this was going on. Like, it don't make no sense.
Yeah, nah. I don't think. I think they really, the way they put it sounded a lot more like what I believed it to be.
Yeah.
And I would like to apologize to them, because I started thinking them as bums. And I
really?
Well, not bums, but I started feeling like y'all really was.
Take easy. Y'all niggas think anybody is a bum these days, man.
No.
And we gonna get to
See, here we go. I always felt like Rory and Mal could do more. Mm-hmm. Like, I always felt like if y'all have, let's say, I don't know, 10 million subscribers, whatever, right? Let's say you have 5 million subscribers. Rory and Mal should go do their own thing so that they can bring another 100,000 subscribers each in. Then
but
when you go have a conversation about
what you want
equity,
for them. You know, you can't.
No,
you can't
I don't
put
know what
that,
exactly.
You know, like that don't mean people not. Everybody don't want to be in front of things or be in production. I can make my money some other way.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that it still could have helped when negotiate. Because what Joe was saying in terms of negotiations, when the time came around for him to be like, y'all salary, I get why he would say y'all now going forward gonna be salary.
No, that don't make sense, because we have a partnership contract.
No, right now. What I'm saying is,
and you could continue to grow your brand. That doesn't have anything to do with this entity that we've built together. That doesn't mean I have to come put something to it. Your network.
Oh, no. But what I'm saying is, do you not agree with Joe if he felt like they were not pulling their weight? Because I'm not gonna lie, on Joe's behalf,
if he feels that way, I feel like before you say that to somebody, you gotta like tell them that first. Like,
well, let's start with clearly Joe has a problem with communication.
Yeah, you gotta tell them that first.
It's extremely ironic that a podcaster that can be so in depth.
Because if they're not pulling their weight, y'all looking at your numbers. Are the numbers dipping? Like,
no.
You know, so what is the place that you're putting this? Well, I'm not pulling my weight thing.
Well, it's not that you're not pulling your weight for this podcast. It's that you're not pulling this weight to call yourself an owner of this podcast. You can say, let me just give my argument. You can say you're part of this podcast. But I'm not gonna lie, there were episodes where Joe was like, so is nobody gonna expound?
He did that all the time.
And I agree with that, because Joe, it felt like Joe was pulling things out of them to get them to pause.
But sometimes Joe, because this is an argument him and Rory would have all the time. Rory would start giving something, and then you fuck out of here. He'll just go.
Nah, that's true. Joe did that.
So yes, he'll point that out, but sometimes they did do it. He'll be like,
fair, but I do admit that Joe good for screaming on a nigga point, bro.
I'm like, you just asked the nigga 20 minutes ago to say more.
Nigga Joe will scream your take into hell. Like, oh, you got a hot take? Well, bring it to hell, my nigga. He's gonna scream at you throughout the whole episode about it. But I do see what he was saying in the sense of, like, if Joe, as the owner of the podcast, in terms of the concept of the contracts, right? What they actually had with the one contract they had. As far as Joe is concerned, if he felt like they weren't pulling their weight, which I can see an argument for why he would think so, I could agree with an argument where he says, again, this is without any background information of anything else they did for the podcast outside of just talking on the mic. If what his narrative was true, where it was like, y'all came, y'all potted, day of, y'all didn't do much preparation, we talked, we bounced ideas, and then we went home, and I did all the other shit, and I came back and y'all potted again, and then we did all. If that's the case, I can see his argument in saying making them salary. But you're right, there should have been a conversation.
Yeah, that's a conversation.
How did we get...
Bro, that's like LeBron being mad at J.R. Smith for not dropping 35. Nigga, I don't get paid for that.
That's true. That's true.
What are you talking about?
That's true. So I feel like what Joe was doing was, he's doing a thing where he's like, hey guys, come, like, let's do this a little more, like in on mic. But I don't think Joe was on the back burner telling them,
you
like,
gotta have that actual conversation.
Nah, like you can't think that on mic in that moment I'm supposed to guess.
People be assuming you can read somebody's mind, like, unless you say something, like you actually come and have, like, even if you shading me, I probably still will talk to you about it until you decide, like, yo, I'm gonna come and actually say, like, yo, this is my problem. I'm gonna just sit there and be like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you don't say nothing to my face, you didn't say nothing
at all.
Like subs on the internet,
nah.
denied. Okay? Whispers under your breath, denied. Come to me as a man and say something, and then we will talk.
At that point, could we go to somebody that's saying something out here?
This nigga Obi with the alley. Take it to the bar. So, that being said, no. But I gotta ask a question. Olivia Pope. Did you hear about that?
Olivia Pope.
Olivia, what's her name?
Olivia from Kerry Washington?
No.
Oh.
But what's this? There's a girl on Joe Budden's podcast that just came out and said he was sexually harassing her. Well, he said something on mic that was sexually harassing. Did I go the wrong way? Were you not going with that?
Olivia Dope.
Dope.
Okay.
I said Pope.
I'm like, Olivia Pope, what the hell are you talking
I thought to say that. I was about to say that sounds familiar. Yeah. But no, that's what I was thinking.
Scandal. That's where that's from.
Oh, is that where you watched that shit?
I watched like the first. That shit was kind of fire at the beginning.
Obi, you trash.
Nah, it was kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me find out you was watching Empire with my man Juicy Schmouye.
Nah, this was like political, like.
No. I heard. I actually heard that show was great for the first.
But
then,
2 like the third season, I was like, I'm not doing this.
I'm not. I never got into it.
I watched it.
I never got into it. This was before Kerry Washington's Skeletor face.
By myself, by the way. Yeah. She was still like.
Yeah, some meat on her bones. Yeah. Not that I'm one to talk, but you know what I mean. But you heard about her coming out against Joe Budden because he had a rough week. Because she also came out and said.
I mean, I didn't pay. I saw it, but I.
So she did a 26-minute video of her talking about and reading off a letter that I think. I like when people read off letters because I think it helps you to not forget certain parts.
It helps you remember.
Exactly. Things. But the problem is it comes off disingenuous when reading if you don't read. I don't want to say well. She did not read well, but it read without any like emotion or like she didn't read it like she was talking. Like when you watch an Obama
Do you think
speech,
she could be like camera shy also for that?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but at the same time.
But she's from a podcast also, right?
So here's my problem. She comes out. Joe Budden had made he came on their show because they're one of the podcasts that are under the Joe Budden network, and it's 2 female shows. I don't know either of them, to be completely honest, because I don't watch them. But I saw this clip, and he came out and said, "Yo." He went on their show because their numbers weren't doing so hot as they expected.
The name of the show is See the Thing Is. I already knew to look it up. I was like, this nigga don't know.
No disrespect.
The name of the show you talking about.
Yo, oh God. I hope that don't look too misogynist.
But go ahead. If you ain't listen to it, you ain't listen to it.
I just don't. You know what I mean? So.
Why you gotta listen to it for?
Because it's females and I should give black women a chance.
I mean, if you gravitate to it naturally.
I agree. But if everything I don't gravitate towards is black women, I should probably...
I watch Scandal, like that was like a natural gravitation. That don't mean I'm gonna watch like every single thing.
Nigga, I didn't, and now I feel like maybe...
Bruh, you watch bad movies. You watch bad women movies. Get the fuck out of here.
I can't help my misogyny.
That's a fucking lie.
No, no, I did not watch the show. But I saw that Joe came out and he was on an episode, and when he was on that episode, they did the most numbers on that episode. Mm-hmm. And he did that to give them...
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, he did that to give them a boost. That being said, on that episode, he said to each one of them, he gave them praise. I want to say, you're amazing, you're amazing. And he said, when he got to her, he said, you're especially amazing because I want to fuck you, and you're amazing.
Damn.
He said that shit on mic.
It's fucking Dame Lillard and Steph Curry out here.
That man.
That's a shot.
That's a shot. That's a half-court shot. That man shooting for broke. I did not understand why. I understood why he said it because he is Joe Budden. And Joe Budden brings the edge. The edge comes with scrutiny. That's the thing people don't like. We like him for the crazy shit he says till he says some crazy shit that doesn't go with what you think or how you feel.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that you are still a boss, and a boss that is working with your employee.
On like where the show just starts on top of that.
And he said, "I'd like to fuck you out." But this is the thing: he edited it out of the episode, and he made it so that it said, with it said you're great, you're great, you're great. It cuts out the I'd like to fuck you and you're great part, and you just left the you're great part, but it still had her reaction of being like, you know what I mean? So it looked weird from, I didn't see it, but I heard it. And she went with it in the moment. She went with it. She just kind of was like, oh, okay, and then just kept, And she came out and she said that she was embarrassed by this and she was traumatized because she felt like it put her in a very uncomfortable situation. How do you feel about that?
That she
about Joe Budden making that joke on air and her reaction to it, saying that she was embarrassed and traumatized.
She was embarrassed and traumatized about that. How do I feel about that just in general?
Yes.
I mean, he's dumb for making a statement like that.
Fair. How do you feel about her? Like, how do you feel about her reaction to it? Do you feel like she's appropriately reacting?
Embarrassed and... did she talk to him about this thing?
It doesn't seem so. In the background, I don't know what conversations happened.
I mean, you could feel how you want to feel about anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to tell somebody, yo, something happened to you. You can't feel that way because I also don't know your whole life.
Yeah.
But what is she asking of like this also is also how I'm going to like respond.
From what I know, she quit. And then after she quit, then Rory and Mal came out with this, and then she came out afterward saying why she quit. She was you could tell she was disgruntled before.
If she felt that uncomfortable, then she did the right thing to quit on that end.
Fair.
I don't know if it's gonna serve her much purpose to come out directly behind Rory and Mal. I do feel like if she was gonna come out a little bit before, or let theirs kind of go over, because that's gonna, unfortunately, just in this world, that's gonna kind of overshadow what she's saying.
Exactly.
Come a little bit after when
give it some time.
Give
so
it
you have
some
your
time
own.
That, so people
there's the argument that nobody's gonna listen until Rory and Mal say something.
But what?
What about the argument that when women speak, no one listens? But maybe it's because they spoke, she felt like she could.
I feel like in 2000, this just keeps going back to whatever. In 2020, like, you could say anything. There's something called YouTube Live. There's something called Instagram
and
Live.
there will always be a group of people back
there is and I'm sure maybe she didn't want to like affect the people that had the podcast going for there. She just said, yo, let me subtract myself from this. Which I understand a move like that.
I agree. I understand the move. I'll say this. I think the word trauma is way overused in 2021. That's what I'll say. I understood when she said she was embarrassed. Completely understood that. I don't knock that. I've had moments where I didn't react in the moment in real time good enough, and I was embarrassed after. I will say that the word trauma, this is the problem I have with feelings. How do we gauge that?
It's not on you to gauge that, though.
Yeah, but I have watched a man get shot, and I would consider that to be traumatic. You're trying to tell me a man hollered at you on mic in a joking fashion, and that traumatized you. Embarrassed, I get. Traumatized? You have never been hollered at, even by your boss before this moment, as a beautiful black woman? Not saying you should, but the word trauma...
I get what you're saying.
It's a little much, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But like you said, we feel you can't. It's hard to tell somebody.
You can't evaluate.
I don't think feelings is on. Like, if I feel away, right? There's people that's gonna sympathize or empathize with me, and then there's gonna be people that don't give a fuck. I have to understand that as somebody that has my feelings, and that's why I'm like, okay, what is she asking for? That's why my question is like, what is she like? Is she just saying like this is what happened? Is she saying this man should lose everything he has, and I'm taking it record?
Well, from what she's saying, in the beginning of the video, she said, I just wanted to. She's saying what all women say in general. Usually, I want to tell my truth, and I want to help women out there that need help. And
I mean, she allowed to do that.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a shit about none of y'all niggas. None of y'all niggas.
You are allowed to be that
as a black young man, I'm looking out for y'all in terms of helping y'all get through the business. But I'm not about to tell my truth for y'all. My truth is for me. Yeah. That term, my truth, is very, very, very. It's dangerous because my truth implies everything is subjective.
it can make you manipulate the thing also.
Everything could be up, but everything is up for grabs.
That's why, like, I do not even like telling, like, say something happens between me and somebody, right? And I feel like I'm like, I don't even want to tell this person's part, because I'm like, I would rather you go speak to that person and let them explain it to you, so maybe I can even understand it better. Because
I don't want to. Because I'm gonna tell you what I heard. I'm not gonna tell you what they said 100%.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And the problem I have with, I think this was all Joe's fault, but for the wrong reason than she thinks. I think this was Joe's fault because she was a DJ, from what I know, and just a popular person. Yeah. She's not like a podcaster. Like, she's not of this ilk.
Yeah.
Any podcaster would have heard Joe say that, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been in situations where you said something to me as my co-host, as my host, as, you know what I mean?
Here we go.
Co-host. You my co-host.
Fucking dragon shit.
I'm my no, I got it. You know what I mean? I've said something. I've had someone say something to me. I've had you say something to me on the mic where I'm like, I have to say something witty in return because I didn't expect you to say that. Yeah. And I just have to bounce back with it. And then tell you later, like, yo, bro, maybe not that one. We stay away from that topic. But I never made it like an issue where, oh, we got to get out of here, bro. You can't do. I'm not going to square up with you after. I'm going to. And I think a podcaster or a person that speaks or a media personality, whatever the fuck you want to call it, someone that is learning their craft and their skill set in how to speak in real time while thinking would have been able to dodge that moment very easily. Witty comment and with a statement after the show's done to make sure you understand that is not appropriate. Because to be real, if I decided to quit every job I ever been to because of black, I would have no fucking money. And I'm sorry, I've been uncomfortable many a time. And I don't understand why. And this is, I think, the problem I have with the feminist overall movement outside of, I don't have a problem with women's rights. I don't have a problem with, but why do you guys, we support all that. Like, I don't want anybody not to get opportunities with us. What does that benefit me?
Get your bag.
Get your bag. My problem is we are all uncomfortable at times. Asian people have been uncomfortable in certain situations. Black people, men, women, gay, straight, trans. Everybody has moments that's uncomfortable. And it feels like, I'm speaking towards feminism, it feels like y'all feel like y'all fight is particularly special. And I'm like,
okay, so this is the thing. Like,
why is, you know what I mean?
The world is moving to a place where we're having, a little bit more open conversations. And she's allowed to do, like, she's allowed to come out and speak and say whatever. And then the people that support her are allowed to support her. But then, there might also be a reaction that doesn't really go the way you want it. We all have to be able to accept all those things. I might not get the reaction I want to. I want while I'm saying this, because and like I said, I feel like she should have just had like that conversation with him. Even if she was gonna quit anyway, just let that dude know, like, yo, this is the exact reason I'm quitting. Because now she got them other girls sitting in the hot seat defending themselves while they stayed, while this dude is harassing women. And I'm like,
and he took that episode down.
Which episode? Oh,
that episode. So that is their most viewed episode, and it's down now. That's the shit I'm talking about. It's like, to be real, right? I, as a man that has been a man my whole life, last I checked, you know what I mean? Bruce. You never know, bro. You never know these days. It's 2021. But as a man, I've always kind of felt like, what is the benefit I'm getting to this, to my morals being affected in this moment? So, like, how many views am I going to get for this comment I'm not comfortable with? Yeah. And is it worth it? That's what I do. Yeah. I don't know about you, bro, but I'll sell out for the right price. Yeah. Fuck y'all. Not everyone, not everything. Of course, there's exceptions to that rule. I'm not selling out for certain shit. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm, you know what I mean?
This nigga selling out.
But I'm telling you right now, my nigga, you give me the right price and I might consider it. So my mind goes in, okay, you said something about black people that I do not like in this moment. But you are currently Elon Musk and you're at my show that never gets views. And now I got 500,000 views from this one video that I'm now going to make 100,000.
Obviously, that's not what she cares about.
Fair.
That's not what that she cares
So you're in the...
That was what you said like earlier. Like, she shouldn't have been in that space.
You're in the wrong industry. You're in the wrong industry. You're going to have moments on mic when someone says something to you that is uncomfortable, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with that. You cannot tell me, I'm sorry, toughen the fuck up. That's how I feel. Not that Joe was right for saying what he said. Joe was wrong, and that was terrible. But we can say both at the same fucking time. Joe, shut up. Don't say dumb shit. Shorty, toughen up. Learn how to react. Both have to happen. Because I think arguments like this take away from real arguments, in my opinion, where women are being raped, women are being actually physically harmed.
I don't even think those things take, because like I said, we're always gonna see from the reaction is not always the same. There's people that come with like problems of like things, and people actually empathize. People that don't usually empathize will be like, you know what, that is totally fucked up what happens. It's like it's about actually listening to what happens.
Yeah,
to
each
this,
situation.
You know?
But I do think that there is a growing narrative that is happening amongst the feminist movement, or women in general. I don't want to say feminist, because not every woman considers themselves a feminist, but that doesn't mean they don't believe in women's rights, right? Yeah. But so there is a growing opposition of people going, women are being too sensitive. Women are now getting everything they want. Women are now everything. It's like, believe women. All of them. All of them. Believe women. Every last one. Like,
part of me believing you. I gotta ask some questions, son.
I got some questions.
Your story got some holes in it. That's not me offending you. But me not believing you.
That looks a little weird.
Yo,
but it's like
are you gonna believe everybody that comes across and say I lost $100? Like, you gonna be broke if you just go around, you know? But, you know.
But to me,
listen to people.
That's
what I would more so say.
But the problem is, when you do that, now, because there's so many angry men in this world existing that are going, women get everything, and they just mad.
Word.
Now what's happening is
Samuels comments.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a Kevin Samuels effect.
Y'all niggas hate women.
I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not this mad. I'm not this mad. Like,
they be so angry, son.
I'm like, guys, I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, this nigga don't say nothing wrong.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. These bitches get me tight too, but damn, like, y'all are bugging. Like, y'all dragging this.
He's that mad.
Nah, he's not mad at all. Kevin Samuels sitting there counting the bag. But I just feel like there's a growing movement of men saying women are lying. Oh, well, it's always been the case. Yeah, women are lying. Women are liars, or women are exaggerating. And things like this, I feel like these are the ones that it's like, this could have been handled without ever going public. This didn't need to be a public one, because there are other public ones. Because now it's gonna be, to me, it feels like I'm not gonna.
I mean, as a dude, you still gotta hold, like, a woman is totally, like, you know.
Yeah.
You have to be able to know, like, okay, this is gonna go somewhere and this isn't. But as a dude, you also have to know how to evaluate. Like, you can't just say everybody's lying. Like, nigga, like, you just start to, just like the other side, when it's like, yo, believe everything.
No,
you can't
of course,
just call, yo, she lying. Every chick is lying about it. Like, nothing ever happened. You don't know nobody that nothing bad ever happened to.
I ain't never seen a woman get touched and not deserve it. Never once in my life.
You know, so
nah, that's clearly. But my thing is, it's not even about the belief. It's just there. See, I don't want to diminish, because now this is the problem. Now, if I say what I'm about to say, I diminish her truth, right? When I honestly believe that this was a joke gone bad.
Yeah, it was an uncomfortable.
And you know what? Something about uncomfortable. My doctor said this to me about when I was working with my daughter on she was learning to crawl, and she used to have tummy time. But on tummy time, she would cry for so long. She would not pick herself up. She would just cry. And her mother would always be there like, oh my God, I'll pick her up. And then I went to the doctor, and he was like, okay, she needs to get her neck muscles up, and she needs to. And I was just like, her mother gets worried, you know, she's uncomfortable. And the doctor looked at me and said, we are all going to be uncomfortable. You have to get through it. Because unfortunately, comfort is not where you grow. Discomfort is where you grow. So, I remember that stuck with me, because it's like, this is a baby he's talking about, and he's over here like, she gonna be uncomfortable, son. But you know what? She gonna cry through it, and then she gonna self-soothe.
You can't bail people out.
Exactly, because and that's what I feel like the problem I had with this situation was. It was just like, you were uncomfortable for a moment. I'm not gonna lie. I need to know what your checks were hitting like. I need to know how much money was coming in. I need to know. If I could tell those backgrounds, I will properly gauge whether you made the right decision in quitting or not. Because to be completely honest, with the amount of views you're getting, the amount of what's the word when you outreach, you're getting, amount of people you're now being put in front of. You don't think that's worth maybe a second of discomfort? Are y'all trying to tell me you can never be offended by anything at the rate? At any cost?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm making $10 million. I'm gonna say what you want. Say what you want. But yeah, that I'm sorry, that one really bothered me.
He
like
was
that.
Passionate about that.
No, because it was just like,
I get it.
y'all serious? Y'all serious?
I get it.
Oh man. But yeah, man, I and also Joe did apologize to this woman. I want to say that. He definitely
an apology toward this woman.
No, he even had a therapist show up to one of his shows, which is another thing. Joe, stop weaponizing therapy. Stop weaponizing therapy.
Manipulating therapy.
Stop manipulating therapy. Every 5 seconds, this nigga say therapy. And I'm like, you did not go to therapy and learn the right things, motherfucker, because clearly you not getting it right.
He went to therapy to learn how to psychologically
exactly dominate other humans. I feel like Joe took therapy and he decided, I'm going to use these terms to now use them in real life and act like I'm therapeutic but not be therapeutic.
Yeah, man.
Nah, I don't like that.
I mean, sometimes you got to do that.
I mean, yes.
You got to do that when you are certain people. And like the man we are about to transition to talk into.
Obi's ready. Obi ready for it. Let's go. KWAME Brown.
Yo.
The roast king himself.
This has been the most intriguing story.
Yes.
For like the past few days, man. Like I have been glued to my phone, just watching all the lives. Anybody could get it.
Anybody. Scat. The audience.
So,
please. I want to let y'all know I'm not the biggest sports person. I watch NBA during the playoffs for the most part. I watch NFL during the playoffs. That's it.
So,
Obi got this.
KWAME Brown. KWAME Brown is a legend in basketball. He will go down as the first high school player that was drafted number 1 in. You ain't know that? You looking at me great?
No, I mean, I've never heard him talked about legendarily.
He's building his legacy right now.
Oh, he's doing it now. Because I was about to say I never heard this before this week.
It's a continuation of his legacy.
Okay.
Because he does have a legacy. Like whether it's something you want to say I'm praising or not.
I'm just saying I don't know whether his legacy is legendary.
So, it's kind of legendary.
All right, go for it. So
KWAME Brown was the first high school draft pick that went as number 1. Micheal Jordan drafted him in 2001. Along in that draft class, there was probably around 2 or 3 other players drafted number like 1 to 5. So back in there was other high school.
So the Wizards?
Players. Yes,
okay.
Number 1 to the Wizards when MJ was like president.
Yeah.
President /
I was gonna say if he drafted him, it must have been.
Yeah. So Kobe came from high school. Kevin Garnett came from high school. Tracy McGrady came from high school, but they all went a little bit like later in the first round because they're projects. So like, we're not gonna take them because they're still kids.
Mm-hmm.
KWAME Brown, this was the time where like, we're really trying to go into the future. And
okay.
They drafted a kid from high school. His career did not pan out to how it was. I was just watching something today. Why are you looking at me crazy?
Because I was waiting for but I'm about to say, you giving me legendary breakdowns. I want to hear the but because I've heard this man get roasted for years.
But the roasts are legendary. Like when you talk.
Okay, I take it back. In that case, he might be legendary.
I said not in the way you might want to be like.
Fair.
You know, his career didn't pan out how it was. I was watching something today and they would say he was being compared to Kevin Garnett coming out of high school. So, you know, that's pretty high praise. If they say
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah. But all in all, he ended up not being that good. He did have about like a 10 to 12 year NBA career though. And he made a whole bunch of money through that process. He probably had like a couple like $10 million contracts here and there and everything. So he's made some money. Mm-hmm. But this man, he has been the butt of all jokes when it comes to anything bad in basketball.
Yo.
Go ahead.
Can I say the one thing I always kept? Stephen A. Smith.
He partially built his name off of roasting.
That was the first time I ever heard of Stephen A. Smith for real, because again, I'm not big.
That was an epic roast.
That KWAME Brown, that roast goes down in roast sports history. God damn. And I remember hearing it and thinking, yo, you sound like a wrestler before a match.
Yeah, man.
Like,
so apparently, you know, something was said on All the Smoke podcast. We're going by quick. Steven Jackson from, you know, George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, all of that. He got a podcast with another player, Matt Barnes, and they made a joke when the Lakers owner was there. There was a trade that Kwame Brown was involved, but they try to like shit on him and say, nah, only one player was traded. Talk about the other player. So I guess he got a hold of this clip. And guys, I have never heard Kwame Brown speak. Well, I haven't heard Kwame Brown speak in about 18 years because I didn't listen to no interviews with like games with him after or anything like that. Oh, bruh, Kwame Brown unleashed just an arsenal of like roasting people, and like at this point,
aimed at everyone.
At this point, you've already said everything you could say about him, so nobody has replies to him at this point.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh,
so that's the strategy. That's that psychological shit he did with motherfuckers.
He 8 Mile this bitch.
Yes. So
tell the people something they don't know about me.
You can't really say nothing about.
That's true.
Like the worst jokes, everybody
has
already
roasted
about this dude. Yo. He's coming. He came from Stephen A. Smith, so he's been calling him Matt. I don't know. I wish you knew who Matt Barnes was, man. He's like this little mixed dude. With like
I've seen him before. No, I've seen him before. I just don't know.
He's been calling him Becky with the good hair. He's been roasting him because Derek Fisher took his wife and he drove.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I know that. I know that.
Story.
Yeah, I know about that.
That dude.
Wait, did Derek?
The dude with the basketball wife, that the other dude took his wife and he drove like 90 minutes. At 100 miles per hour, trying to get
Did you go get his wife back? You better get my wife back, you sexy flexy
he's been
nigga.
Roasted. His jokes are like he's not like he's not out here just lying on him. Okay. He's actually saying stuff. He's like, yo, y'all like the joke. And that's his point.
So that's what we doing.
Like, y'all like the joke,
Let's
so I'm coming for everybody. Okay. Even Charlamagne gets.
I heard about Charlamagne. This niggas talk about
Charlamagne got laid low for a little bit, man, because. The one thing that he did that was the wrong thing.
Charlamagne, specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
He did that chatty patty Charlamagne shit.
What do you do?
When reporting on the news, he goes and starts talking about, oh, his family's from South Carolina, his father did this, his brother did that. Kwame Brown's like, I don't know these people like that. Like, I wasn't cool with my father. I wasn't cool with my brother like that. But now he's just talking about Charlamagne's rape case that he has, allegedly. But, I mean, he walked into something.
See, that's the worst situation because you talked about his father and his brother like you knew him.
So
you had no context.
He didn't just report the news about it.
He gave his opinion.
He gave like yo, I'ma just make him sound crazy. Yeah. Or like put this crazy, and that's what he's saying. He's like, y'all trying to put this crazy narrative on me. Mm-hmm. And I've watched his lives. Do I think he might be doing too much and he might be angry? Yes, but he does not come off as crazy to me. He seems like he thought about this for fucking 20 years.
I was gonna say, my nigga, this has been a decade-long roast. This man's been writing jokes for years. So
if y'all got the time, please just go watch it.
So what do you think about like? Okay, so I heard what he said about Charlamagne. Yeah. That shit was 100% correct because I think Charlamagne sometimes has a issue from when he was a guy just trying to get shocked.
Yeah, when he was doing
just trying to get shocked.
He said some wild shit.
That man had some wild comments. I think Charlamagne is now getting a lot of flack for that time. Yeah. So I don't know when he did this roast about his brother and his father, but
no, this was the other day when he was reporting on the situation with Kwame Brown and All the Smoke. He was saying, if I was y'all, I would advise y'all leave Kwame Brown alone. I know about I heard about his father. So he didn't appreciate that too much. You know, and these people are responding, but they're not denying nothing that he's saying.
Is anyone fighting back?
They're all trying to be they're all taking that we're gonna ignore him. He might be going off the edge. He's crazy.
Maybe, but you know what I think? You know what I think is happening? I think they're all ignoring him because they realize we got nothing for him.
So some of them are actually inviting him to their platform, and he's declining. But that's because he kind of has the upper hand at this time. The public sentiment is on his side. Yeah, they're not fucking with most of those people with the platforms because the fans know. The fans have been part of the joke, but we're listening to him like, you know what? He kind of has a point, guys. Like, he ain't really like and I looked up an old interview with him, and like, he wasn't given like, a lot of people have come at Jordan for him, because they're like, even how his sympathizers, have come at Jordan for him for like his management of him, because you're drafting a kid that's 18 years old. You're not back in the days, most people that would be drafted was like 22, 23.
Yeah. And you drafted him like he was gonna be amazing.
Yeah, so you might have to like take a little bit of like a father approach, or not a father. I don't want to say father, because but like a father, like.
Like a mentor.
Yeah, like a mentor.
A mentor, yeah.
I mean, you could be a mentor and still be like a little rougher than somebody. But yeah, just a little more coddling approach to him. Because he's a kid in a locker room with grown-ass men all day. Like, he might not feel that comfortable. That's all right for a kid. So instead of...
It's funny because 18 sounds so big legally, but when you think about the reality of it, it's so small.
But in his interview, he didn't like... And that's why I'm like, he doesn't seem ignorant. And this was like a regular media interview that happened like a few years. So he kind of was like, you know what, like, I'm not blaming this man that, took a chance on me and like did things.
Exactly. So do you think that so do you think anybody's gonna respond? That's my question. Like,
we gotta wrap up in 5, but do I think anybody's gonna respond? A few people have responded. Matt Barnes has asked him to fight, and that just proves he's a sensitive light-skinned guy.
Matt Barnes, we are light-skinned.
Yo, they've been calling him Becky with the good hair from Matt.
Yo, I got to talk to Matt Barnes right now. Matt Barnes, look at me in my eyes, sir. We are light-skinned. We don't fight.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I got an anger problem, but we don't fight. We play. Their
podcast is called Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson.
It's called Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson?
No, it's called All of the Smoke.
All of the Smoke.
They not looking like they want any smoke right now. So they call them Some of the Smoke. That's what they've changed their podcast name to.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, that's real?
That's what people refer to their name now, like Some of the Smoke, man.
Matt Barnes.
Nah, please. Man. And with Steven Jackson, he talked about like what he was doing last summer and everything. Mm-hmm. But he's like, bro, you also be claiming to be gang a lot, like you, and I don't want to knock him because he does seem to like change his life. He's like picked up Islam, so I'm not gonna do
Matt Barnes.
Steven Jackson. George Floyd is man that was the basketball player.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So so he's like, yo, bro, you're a gangbanger. This other dude, Charles Oakley from back in the days, was running into the locker rooms looking for you, and you was like running like type of shit. Like so he's saying things that are true, but
yeah.
It's rough out here, but
that's
if y'all
true,
get a chance to check out his live, I think y'all
I'll be with you. If Oakley was looking for me,
I mean, you can't be blood and all that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care what nobody.
You gotta take that L.
I don't think height difference.
What, gangbangers can't lose a fight or something like that? Is that like part of like the gang code?
No, gang. Actually, on the contrary, you're right. As a gang member, you go in, you lose the fight, but you lose it with honor.
Exactly.
I think that's what I heard.
Like, there's no honor in being a gang member. What the fuck am I here for?
Yeah, I don't know. Lil Reese got beat up and shit on himself. So.
Did he get shot recently?
Reese? Oh wow, yeah. So, well, hopefully he gets better. I don't mean to, but I just remember the video of him getting beat.
Yeah, man.
So
how did you feel? We got like a couple more minutes.
I don't know
about KWAME BROWN.
I'm not a big basketball buff, but I remember listening to it and thinking, I remember that Stephen A. Smith roast.
Yo,
I remember that roast.
Stephen A. Smith, he dodged that. He was like, yeah, I'm not gonna respond.
Nah, you can't win that.
But he did defend like him doing that, right? But you did do that.
That's not a battle you can win because it's underdog, and I think KWAME is doing something that is smart. He's using the underdog route.
That's the only route y'all gave him. That's the only route y'all gave him.
Y'all have roasted me for this long, so now I got nothing left to lose. Yeah. It's actually, like I said, I've been my brokest, and it was kind of liberating. When somebody looked at me and said, can you take care of this? And I go, no, I actually can't. And that's where KWAME BROWN's out. It's like, my reputation as a basketball player cannot take any more of a hit.
And the man is still rich. That's the part. Like, he made a bunch of money. That's the part in the he made a bunch of money in that process.
And this is one of those times where, because I have a rule, so, you know what I mean? When I'm working with students, I have a rule where it's like, we can roast, but it stops when they're not roasting back. And I think Stephen A. Smith learned that the hard way just recently.
All these people.
Because y'all were roasting him for years. If he's not saying nothing back, or if you roasted him and you gave him the one roast, end it there. to continue regularly
Matt Barnes,
to make him a going joke.
Matt
it's
Barnes
like,
and Steve Jackson, they because that I saw the clip. I found because I was looking. I'm like, yo, what sparked? All week I'm like, yo, what sparked this? So I finally found the clip, and even the Lakers owner, she was like, she dismissed it a little bit, and she like embraced that he was part of that trade in her response. That was very like really great PR, by the way. God damn. I was like, God damn. Like she really spun that. Like, because a lot of people would have fell for that joke where it was like, because he tapped him on the knee and was like, nah, one player was involved. And she was like, nah. And then she was like, nah, KWAME Brown and Marc Gasol was. I was like, all right.
She fixed that quick. See, that's exactly what Joe Budden podcast needed. We needed somebody big, quick on their feet. Quick on their feet.
Bro, that's $1 million PR team type shit.
I fuck up, I get quick on my feet. Even $1,000.
Nah, you don't let people you can get caught up in some shit sitting in the podcast, of course.
Yeah.
She ain't let herself get
okay.
I was happy about that.
Now I'm
she would have been getting that smoke from KWAME Brown too.
I'm a fan of the underdog. My only thing I'll say is don't drag it, because I think what can happen is you can make it so that now you're just like coming at everybody, and it becomes like now
people are donating money to this man.
The rich one?
Yes. Yes. Yes, people are donating money to this man on his YouTube page. They're donating.
Guys. What he needs is, we need to donate reputation. We cannot donate money. He needs reputation.
I saw $150 donation. I said, yo, what the fuck?
I'm sure you need that money more than he does. I promise you.
I was like, this is the kind of donations niggas is giving out here.
That you see, everybody, as soon as somebody feel bad, they just go money, and it's like, nah, guys, it's not that.
We gotta get out of here.
We out of here? Oh man, it was that quick. I'm not gonna lie, this felt quick.
Yeah.
This felt quick. But I'll say one thing before we go. One, KWAME Brown, good roast. Yeah. A1 roast.
Keep your. Plus, he's also with the KWAME Brown thing. It seems like from what he seems like he's actually trying to send like a message with like, a lot of y'all rip people down a lot, and y'all do a lot of things and build yourself up off of other people's expenses. Yeah, you know, and we may laugh about it. It is true.
That's literally what I was gonna say. Yeah. It's right as you said it. I was gonna say that we have to learn when to say when. Yeah. Like, jokes are jokes, but at a point it just becomes cruel. And I feel like at that point that's why he's doing this, because it got cruel. Y'all was dragging
he's
this.
Kind of sending exactly like, to people.
Y'all just can't beat a nigga up forever. Like, that's not fair.
Like, even if you don't like an underdog story, like, you don't also like seeing somebody get bullied all day.
I'm sorry. Like, I've never watched a fight that was interesting when one nigga's just getting laid the fuck down. Never. So, you know what I mean? If you got consider these things. People
we just like that he's defending himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whether he lose the fight, bro, at least you stood up for yourself.
KWAME, we here with you. Yeah. We here with you. Just don't play on the court. That's all we ask. Nah. But everybody, listen, man. I would like y'all to like, subscribe, and just go through our videos, man. We have a lot of topics. We have a lot of videos. Everybody, go through, listen, like, subscribe. Just continue. Just
leave terrible comments about it,
bro.
Like, what the fuck?
Bad feedback is good.
Word.
I don't mind. Roast me. I be saying stupid shit. I'm stupid. Say something. You know what I mean? Fight me.
Don't hit me up to complain. Hit up the comments to complain.
I'm not gonna lie. Don't come on my page. Come on my page. I got my kids on my page. I don't want to get shit.
I'm talking about the YouTube comments.
But come for us, bro. It's okay. We don't mind.
Because I be getting texts like, yeah, I was saying, like, put it over there.
I was about to say, man.
I was seeing it too.
You know, I've been getting that too. Guys, start commenting on the page. He's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever your thought is that you go text me with, just put it over there.
And put it over there. Roast me there. I'm with that. Yeah. But anyway, man, it's been Common Folk. Thank you for listening, and we out.